Hi guys, this is Carrie. Welcome to A Crone's Life. I wanted to do another hashtag today. This one's called The Witch Within, and I kind of needed a disclaimer or maybe something to help you understand why I would do this video, this hashtag. I've been watching Angel at Feeding Your Soul 1212, Feeding My Soul 1212 for several years, and she's always had really fun, interesting videos. Not too long ago, she was talking about the facets of self, and she works with her facets of self. Now, this could actually have been over a year ago. I'm really not sure because I don't watch things in order. But it's always struck me, and it's always kind of stayed with me, the idea of facets of self, because I know there's an inner child, and I know there's an inner teenager, and, you know, we all wear lots of hats, so the idea of the facets of self, you know, makes total sense. And then I backed this deck on Kickstarter, and I did not work with it immediately, but this is called Space. And if you read the guidebook, or if you read the instruction book, he talks about how he went through a really difficult time in his life where he would just wander around and talk to himself. And he realized that as he was talking to himself, different times had different voices. So he was discovering different pieces of himself, different personalities within himself that had no problems saying what they thought. You know, some of those voices can be rough, some of those voices can be kind. And so because they're so different, he decided to go ahead and separate all of his voices inside of his head, essentially. And that's what helped him come up with the idea of this deck. So facets of self, and space, which describes different parts of us inside ourselves. I've actually split mine into pieces that I feel have a larger part in my head to pieces that feel like they don't really have much going on in there. So I'm just going through this while I talk. So the witch within, for me, is that there is a facet of myself that is a witch, and I feel like she pours energy into things, whether I'm casting spells traditionally, which I never do, or if I'm just making something. So crochet is very not spell work. So I'm putting intention into each knot that I create in the crochet. The energy that I pour into my cooking is love for my family and the people who partake. So I don't feel completely separate from witches. I just don't identify my whole self as a witch. I feel like there's so much to witchery that anybody probably could say that there's a piece of themselves that is a witch. Now, I'm making assumptions, but I think that's true. I think we all believe we can manifest things, and I think that's what we do as witches. We create magic, or we recognize magic. So it's all very exciting to me. I love to think about it. I love to ponder all of these magic bits and pieces. So, referring to the facets of self and angel, that's kind of where I'm coming from with answering these questions. So if some of them don't make any sense and I skip, it's because my whole self, the bigger picture, is not a witch. There's just pieces in me that can definitely do witchy things. So with that being said, I will get started. So my unconventional answers to the to the prompts. Again, they might not make sense to everybody. But the first prompt is, who was the first witch you recognized in yourself? And I said Nanny McPhee and Baba Yaga. Now, Baba Yaga is kind of a bad witch in some tales, but she's also a witch that helps somebody who's humble and comes to her with humility. And both of these, Nanny McPhee and Baba Yaga, are really strong with the whole do unto others kind of message. The thing that I respect the most about the witch side of things, the thing that draws me to witch as the title for that part of myself, is the rule of three. In the same way that I say do unto others, the rule of three is whatever you put out into the world, you'll get it 3 times back. If I'm negative and I draw attention to the horrible things that somebody's doing and how they don't think right or they don't do right, well, that's going to come back to me 3 times. The witchy rule of 3 speaks to my heart so strongly. If I did nothing else in this world that was witchy, I want to follow that rule. I want to put out happiness and joy because that's what I want in my life. So, the rule of 3, huge for me. That is huge for me. I think if you know who Nanny McPhee is and you have a sense of Baba Yaga, you could see their similarities. Number 2. Aren't these really fun family pictures? Number 2, how were witches in your ancestry or culture treated, honored, hidden, persecuted? I don't know of any practicing witches in my family lineage. I don't have a good answer for this. What I do know is that even the very Christian people in my lineage were kind of outside of normal Christian. So we talk about, I sing mantras, and we say prayers, as Christians say prayers. And maybe the witchy people, they chant their spells. But my grandmother on my mother's side was Christian Science, and she believed that you could heal people, you could make everything happen if enough people got together and prayed about it. You didn't need modern technology, kind of like the Amish or the Mennonites, but and that was dangerous, but at the same time, it's very much similar to what we think with making spells. If you think that your words have power and they can bring something into being, then that's really no different than Christian Science that believes that you can heal people with your prayers and your words, and you just need the power of more than one person. So my grandmother would hire people to come and pray with her over my grandfather. He had arthritis. He was in a lot of pain through his life. So yes, I think that there are similar actions. A little booty, sorry. I didn't see that. Yeah, there's similar actions, similar behaviors across the board. This is her. This is my Christian Science grandmother, my mom's mom. Her name was Marvel. But she opened my eyes to a lot of different ways that people can do spell work. So I guess that's my answer. If I have to say what happened to my ancestry, my witchy ancestry, I'd say that they were camouflaged into other other images, they had other identities to camouflage themselves. So, okay, number 3, do you believe you had past lives as a witch? If so, what era calls to you? The only way that any of that really appeals to my brain, like any truth in it that could be, is perhaps I was an apprentice to maybe a midwife or a healer. I could have gone out and I could have foraged, picked the herbs and things for tinctures, but I never really felt like I was doing the spell work. I have a very clear sense of the past lives. Well, the ones that I'm aware of, they're very clear to me. I was very young every time I passed away in this world. I never really made it to, say, like 19 years old in my other past lives. So, in my other lives. So I feel like whatever I was doing as a young person, not necessarily an old, wise woman. And I don't think I ever had children of my own. I know that people had children very young in other eras, but I don't believe I ever had children of my own in other lives. I don't know if that answers any questions at all, but no, that's a rude picture. My beautiful mom. But no, I don't have a sense of an era that calls to me. I just feel that I was always very young in what I was doing, so. Number 4. Oh, I don't have the question. Well, I might have to look this up. Oh, what tools, herbs, and rituals feel like home in your craft? Okay, yeah, that's the question. So as far as herbs and spices or whatever, I always go to ginger, clove, and cinnamon, honeysuckle, and anise. Not all together, but if I need something going on in my simmer pot, I'll reach for a cluster of those to comfort my home or spice things up in my home. But the only rituals that I feel that feel natural to me are cooking, crochet, like knotwork, candle burning, simmer pots. I'm working towards more ancestor work, but I have some issues with death. I'm working through. I feel okay with death. Like, it doesn't make me uncomfortable thinking about not being here, going to another life. But I don't know. I'm working through some death things. Maybe I used to do death rituals when I had, say, like Viking life going on. Oh no, it's so hard to answer any of this. It's so weird, but yeah, I don't do like traditional opening the circle and preserving space kind of spell work. Maybe I should, but just to make sure that I don't let negative energy in, but I think I'm pretty good at grounding and managing negative energy, so I'm not too concerned about that. Number 5, have you ever been gatekept or told you weren't a real witch? How did you respond? No. If anything, things keep popping up that there are bigger witchy parts to me than I expect to see. My cards often tell me to embrace these messages, and I agree. I think we should embrace like all the parts of ourselves, and since there is a witchy part to me, I should embrace it. Of course, I don't want to force anything, so there's that. Number 6, which archetype speaks to you most? The healer, the seer, the midwife, the hedge-walker, or the death worker? So I would say the hedge-walker, because they kind of stand by themselves, and the death worker. Yeah, I think those work for me. And I'm not sure why. I mean, I've never worked in a funeral home or anything, but like I said, the work that I've been doing mentally with death and trying to, get comfortable, it leads me to think that I could be a death worker. And hedge walker, like I said, it's just because I don't have a physical group of people. I have you guys, and that's what matters to me. Prompt number 7. How do you balance fear with empowerment in calling yourself a witch? Well, I don't really feel like it's anybody's business, so I don't have to go out and make any kind of announcements as to what I'm doing. So I don't really have a good answer for that one. I feel empowered by each part of me being able to speak its self into existence. If I give a part of me voice, then that part of me is empowered. So it's like if I say the mother in me really needs to have her say, then I will give her the power to speak and to be the mother that she needs to be. Of course, now that I'm a crone, that's not as necessary as it used to be, but yeah, I just give power to the voices that speak inside of my head. Number 8, share a moment where magic revealed itself undeniably in your life. Everything. Oh yeah. So since I was a child, I can remember whenever I wished for something, and it wouldn't be right away, but it would come true. Like, how weird is that? Some people talk about putting a coin in a wishing well, and I just kind of wish for something, and it happens. So it manifests. I never really had an explanation for it, but I still don't, so I guess that's okay. Yeah, it's all the bad things too. So when you wish harm on someone, when you wish somebody would just leave you alone, when you wish and you put any kind of energy in it, and it's like, God, why can't I just be like everybody else? I wish I were normal. And then all of a sudden we would move and I would get a clean slate and I'd get to start over again. And, that was where my choice came in, to either be normal or, act like a little Looney Tunes, like I had the ability to be as a child. But yeah, it seemed like, and from a very young age, everything I ever wished for would come true. So that to me is magic, and along with nature, it's undeniable. 9. Which tarot oracle card represents the witch in you? Well, that's a good question because there's a lot of cards out there. I may have to think about that one. So the question was 9. Which tarot or oracle card represents the witch in you? And I think along with the facets of self, it's going to be the Wheel of Fortune. Because all along the wheel, you can be someone different, but it's going to come back around again. You know, you are whole, but you're only showing a part of yourself at a particular time. And also, something that I haven't talked about yet is the most powerful spell in my life is do unto others. And I know that's a very Christian thing to say, but it's across all religions that I've studied so far. Not that I'm a theologist or anything, but it's really easy to get information, and all religions have an element of love yourself, love others, and we are all connected. And I say do unto others because that was what I heard as a child. That was what was kind of drilled into me, and it really expresses what I mean kind of the best. So yeah, I think that's the most powerful spell that I have in my life is kindness towards others always comes back. Generosity and sending energy actually works, because if you care about something and you've put your energy into something, the other person feels it. Like, anyway, that's my belief. Okay, so the answer was the Wheel of Fortune. Number 10. What wisdom would your inner witch speak to the collective if they could speak? Well, that's really easy. Let me make sure. Okay. My inner witch would tell everybody that we are connected. We are all a part of the same whole. And every success that someone else feels is also my success. Every failure that someone else has is also my failure. So it's always in our best interest to lift people up. It's not cool to hate. It's not cool to gatekeep. It's not cool to pick sides, because there are no sides. We are all one in this world. So the next part of the prompts are picking cards. So I have 7 different questions to ask my cards, and then I get to tell you what they say. So hold on one second again. So I shuffled off screen because it's noisy. And hello, Monty. How are you doing? And so I'm just going to tell you the question and show you the cards. So number 1, the root, where the witch in me comes from. Ace of Swords. I'm trying to make sense of the world, and the witch inside of me makes a lot of sense through the magic that I feel around me. And her imagination gets let go. She just explains everything. Set her free. She will tell you the reasons why. So, as an explanation, the witch comes to make everything make sense to me. Number 2, the flame. What ignites my magic today? 10 of Swords. Endings, trying to get through things. I don't know how that ignites my magic, though. Like a means to an end. A completionist in me. What ignites my magic today? Well, I did my best. That's what I can think of. Yeah, I don't know. I thought creativity. I thought my creativity ignites my magic. I thought foraging and nature, and I don't know, all that other stuff kind of made more sense to me than the Ten of Swords. Oh, hello. Okay, so we're going to sit with that one because I don't really know and I don't want to make an extremely long video. Number 3, the tool. A skill, herb, or ally I naturally work with. Page of Swords. So, youthful energy. We already know that I have a lot of that. Truly, bird energy. Yeah. She goes outside and she plays all the time. She rolls around in the grass. She chops down trees with her machete. She forages, and that's my girl right there. She is all about knowing what the heck everything means, but life is full of play. Life is full of excitement and adventure, and that's how she looks at the world, as adventure. So the tool that I would work with would be a childlike energy, a smart childlike energy, so I don't just hurt myself, but youthful nonetheless. And maybe the sword. I mean, the sword is there to protect me and to clean up the messes, you know. Chop the herbs, but you know, protect and clean up the messes. All right, number 4, the shadow, a fear, wound, or limitation that shapes my path. The King of Wands. Well, that's charisma. That's the cult of personality to me. I look at that and I think, you know, I've always wanted to be more charismatic. I've always wanted to fill this role of, gosh, can't get enough of this person. But that's never really been me. I'm more of a behind-the-scenes kind of person, so maybe the shadow is I will never be that person, and maybe it kind of hurts that I can't push myself to this limit, to this to fulfill this leadership role, this, you know, ultimate dude. Not that I need to be a dude, but you know what I mean. This ultimate charisma package. I'll never be everybody's favorite. I guess that's the shadow. Number 5, the gift. What my witch self brings to others. The Ace of Wands, yes, totally. I draw pictures and make things and send them out to everybody just to show how much I love and care about everybody else as well as myself. I give things to make myself feel better. When I'm having downtime, I either buy too much, create a lot, or give things away. My downtimes are the best times for everybody else. I'm really just kidding, but kind of. It's kind of true. Creativity, the start of projects, all that is just stuff to give away. Parts of myself to throw into other people and let me spend time with you in a physical space. So my projects enter your space, and in that respect I can be a part of what you're doing, and to me that's the best gift I could give. I'm not unhappy about that. Number 6, the mirror, how others perceive the witch in me. Oh yeah, now that holy crap. Oh yeah, that's gotta be right. It's all my vices. It's all, I claim to do witchy things so that I can collect snake skin, and gives me permission to do stupid weird things. Oh, I can totally see that. I can totally see everybody who heard me say, all the people who know me heard me say that the witch in me, and they're like, oh, that's just her excuse to do her weird things. She's just playing. She's just doing that because she wants something else. That's that. Yeah, I could see that. I can see that. Number 7, the legacy. What the witch in me is here to leave behind. Oh, that's so sweet. The Two of Cups. Yes, connections. I would love to make connections, and I want to leave people with this comfort of connections with others. That's so beautiful. I love that reading. Oh, I love that. Hey, if you guys want to do this, don't feel like you have to claim to be a witch to do it. Just find that part of yourself that definitely feels witchy and answer the questions the best you can. I did a terrible job, but I'm not ashamed and I'm not sad. This has been so much fun, and this part of it was really good. I still don't understand the Ten of Swords, and I can't try to go into that right now, but very interesting. The rest of it was sweet and lovely, and I can't wait to see what everybody else says too. Thank you so much for hanging in there, watching my video, and back to my outro. Guys, I have had so much fun these last few days just chatting with people on the internet, getting messages in my email. Please feel free to email me. I adore chit-chatting and talking and connecting with people. So please don't hesitate to reach out. If you just want to say nothing at all, I don't care. It's cool. I love hearing from you. Have fun. Take care. Protect yourself. Ground yourself. And I'll talk to you later. Bye, guys.